What's up, everyone? Do I have anything in my teeth? Doesn't look like it. Hi! Okay, welcome back. I have crazy hair today. It's gonna be just fine as it is. We are gonna talk about the upcoming full moon. Okay, we're gonna talk about the upcoming full moon in Sagittarius. Before I even get into that, I just wanna say to everyone, look, my posting schedule is super weird. There's a lot of transitions and changes going on in my life, as well as everyone else's, but I still love YouTube. But I will say to you that I am posting more regularly on TikTok. That's sort of the platform that I'm focusing on growing right now. So if you guys wanna come and follow me over there, iamcourtburns. And if you ever want to book a reading or see what's going on in the astrology, Bravely Beautiful brand is my business, and that is where I run all of my astrology things through. So I would love to see you over there on my Instagram or book a session with me and then we can talk one-on-one. All right, so let's get into what this full moon in Sagittarius is all about, the degrees, what to expect, all the things. Now, I'm not going to go into every single person's sign and what this means for them. I did that over in Patreon, so if you want to join my Patreon, shout out to me, links below. All right, let's talk about this full moon in Sag. Personally, I'm excited about this because Sagittarius energy is all about that freedom seeking energy, adventure, travel, philosophy, beliefs, learning, say it with your chest. And it's all about optimism. And do you know what planet actually rules Sagittarius? Jupiter. And Jupiter is in a fire sign right now, Aries. So we're really going to be feeling this energy of like fast growth, expansion, big stuff coming through. And then the other piece of this that I actually really like, and I'm super interested to see how this actually plays out tangibly speaking, is that this is a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. The last new moon in Sagittarius was an eclipse. We're officially ending off that cycle and changing and moving into this energy that is new, and it's just a brand new cycle. So it does really attach to the eclipse cycles that we had in Gemini and Sag. So with that being said, what you're gonna do is you're gonna look back to your life in 2021 and what was going on around the time of November, December, when we had Sagittarius season in 2021. What were you working on? You know, you can even go back into 2020 because that whole cycle was prominent then. But what were you working on in terms of your, oh my God, I'm having a moment. I interject for a minute. Okay, pause the video, but don't actually pause. We're gonna pause the video and I'm just gonna tell you that vision download I just had. Very Raven Simone. So this morning I was actually being like, I have a feeling that restrictions are going to ease up and we are going to be able to travel again. It might only be for a certain amount of time because if those of you who don't know, if you don't live in Canada, people who are unvaccinated can still not get on a plane, train, or anything that crosses out of their province. Yes, we're the only place in the world still doing this. Thank you, Justin Trudeau. No thanks to you, buddy. I have this weird feeling that we're going to be able to, like, it's going to open up again. And there's a lot of people who are working on this, all the different parties, they're doing their best. But I had this feeling this morning that this was actually going to happen for us, where we could get to go out and like do travel again. And I just had that moment, you just saw it on camera a minute ago, of me being like, oh, because what happened during 2020 with slash 2021 with the nodes being in Gemini and Sagittarius completely changed the way we travel. Our North Node was in Gemini, which was about coming closer to home, right? Like being in our homes, like in our close environment, our communities, versus Sagittarius is from afar. It's international. It's international. So now we just had a new moon in Gemini. Officially now, as I'm filming this, is like takeoff time. Like all of that kind of has been, the seeds of it planted. Now we're going ahead with it. And then we have the full moon, the culmination point of Sagittarius energy, which is about travel. It's about adventure. It's about newfound understanding. And it's like, okay, this is going to be really interesting. I'm so curious to see what happens within the opening of things. And especially given I just talked about the expansion. Okay, let's go back to what I was talking about. So those of you who don't know, we are going to have a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius here on the 14th of June, 2022. So give or take a few days before and a few days after, you already start to feel this. The buildup is occurring, of course. Sagittarius moons are always super fun, very adventurous. I love the Sagittarius energy, and so I don't think that there's anything to really be like, oh my God, like this full moon. No, if anything, we're going for the gold with this full moon, okay? We're gonna look at the charts and I'm gonna tell you what I see, but overall, full moons and moons in Sagittarius overall are just like, in my opinion. So let's look at the chart and see what's going on. I will try and remember to put a picture up here so you can see it, but this is what I see in the chart. When the moon is full, that means the moon is opposite the sun. The sun is in Gemini in this case, the moon is in Sagittarius. This is going to be happening at this is going to be happening around 23, 24 degrees in your chart. So you're going to look to see where Sagittarius is in your birth chart and then look to see where 23, 24 degrees is. If you don't know, come over to Patreon. I will be doing an entire full moon forecast for the signs over there, but you can always check yourself. This is really going to be where there's a culmination point of things really coming together. I want you to remember that Sagittarius is the archer. They literally shoot their arrow and they hit the point. Now, this is going to obviously rule a different area in everyone's chart, but it does tell us there's something that you've been working diligently on that's either going to come to fruition or that actually I do see this as being like a new beginning. Actually, even though it's a full moon, I don't think it's necessarily about closing things out given some of the other transits. I think this is about moving forward into something new and a new chapter and writing a new book. Actually, a song that's coming to mind is The Hills. The rest is still unwritten. If you know, you know. Okay, so sun and moon are opposite each other. So we have this chatty energy, this social energy. There's a lot going on in terms of the communities that we're part of, the ideas that we have with that Gemini energy being in the sun. The moon in Sagittarius is giving us flight, right? Sagittarius is flight. It's giving us energy to flight, to move on, to go on a new journey, to move towards the journey that we've been trying to cultivate. Sagittarius is also quite spiritual in a sense. It is very wise. It has a lot of wisdom. It is ruled by Jupiter, so that expansive energy is quite prominent. And so it's almost as if we're coming out of this limbo phase and getting ready to go forward. And on top of all of that, this is exactly around the same time that Mercury's retrograde is sort of out of its shadow period. So if you've been waiting to make a decision, if you haven't known what decisions to make, this is going to be a very good time for clarity around making those decisions to go forward. Okay, so, all right, so at the same time, we are actually going to have Uranus at 16 degrees of Taurus and Venus at 19 degrees of Taurus. So leading up to this full moon, we are going to experience the Venus-Uranus conjunction, or actually not quite. Oh, that's on the 22nd. So this full moon is actually going to be, we'll feel these effects a little bit, but the Venus-Uranus conjunction is coming on the 22nd of the month. So we'll already start to feel it during around this full moon, but this could bring a new surprise relationship, new surprise involvement in finances and money to our economy and our systems that have to do with money, or it could bring like shocking or like an unexpected income stream, something to do with our values and finances. Now, the job of Uranus is to liberate us. So sometimes it's the breakdown before the breakthrough. You've already been experiencing that. This could be something that's actually really great and like money comes out of nowhere or a new love opportunity comes out of nowhere. That could be really possible. Be really open as possible. This energy is in fixed earth, and that can mean that it's a little bit trickier to change. The more that we are open to this, the more that we can feel liberated by it. So we're going to be leading up to that, but I think this full moon actually is speaking a lot as well to that energy. And so the full moon in Sag is really going to help us take flight towards our dreams and like set foot on a new adventure. And I feel like whatever Uranus is doing with this energy is giving us an opportunity to help us break free so that we can move towards our dream. Okay. Same time, oh boy, Mars. During this full moon, this one might be a little tricky. This might be some of the trickier energy. Mars and Chiron are going to be conjunct. That's a lot of fire energy. So we might be feeling a little bit more passionate than normal, fired up than normal. There might be a lot of anger or aggression that comes up around this full moon. That's a possibility. And I think the antidote to this is to really move your body, make a change, like put your passions towards something, get out there, use the energy, okay? Like use it to do something. That energy is actually, it can be a bit tricky. Like Mars is our action and our drive, and Chiron is our wounds. So it's almost as if we're like needing to kind of really let go of something in order to take action on it and move forward, like do it now around this full moon. It's like giving us the energy to go for it, but it's gonna take us confronting like the things that have been holding us back or our greatest wounds. Like it's time to let them go. Oh my God, there's a dog just hanging out the window. So cute. Jupiter's in Aries at this time, as I said before, so that momentum is really strong. Mercury will also be squaring Saturn at this time, which isn't anything abnormal. We've been dealing with this. Well, Mercury has been in the sign of Taurus, so as we move closer to this full moon and past the full moon, Mercury will actually move into Gemini, which will be very helpful. It's going to ease off that square. The tension in the conversations we've been having will be a little bit less, not as big and not as like restrictive or daunting with authority figures. We might actually get more information from the authority figures in the world. I hesitate to call them that, but we might get more information about things moving forward. Venus is going to be in Taurus still at this time. This is also beneficial, like I had said, that Uranus conjunction that's coming up. Something is going to happen with our finances and our money, and I don't say that to scare you. I think the scary aspect is the shadow side of Uranus, where there can be something that comes that's actually liberating to support us to move forward. That, you know, it's like a door that opens or an opportunity that comes, and if it knocks, open the door. Okay, there is quite a few other aspects in terms of things happening to the nodes. Just again, reminding everyone that we are changing. We are trying to move in new directions, and so the squares to the nodes are asking us to create uncomfortable change to move towards our north node and take with us the things from the south node. And so that is what we're experiencing as a collective. So if it ever feels hairy or sticky or whatever word you want to use, it's part of this course. It's actually what we have to do in order for us to get to that path forward. So again, I just want to say, like, be very gentle and mindful with yourself. Give yourself grace and know that this is part of the process. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, it's okay. None of us do. And if people say they do, well, they're choosing a path that isn't necessarily creating a new world. I'm talking to the new world creators. Shout out to you guys. Anyway, that's a little bit about what's going on with this full moon in Sag. Again, look to see where 23 degrees of Sagittarius is in your birth chart. That's going to give you a really good indicator of what might be coming up for you. Book a reading at the links in my bio. No, book a reading in the links below. Listen to my podcast at Saturn Return Diaries if you ever want to binge more astrology content. But come over to iamcourtburns on TikTok. That's where I have been being very consistent. I will continue to be consistent here when I can, because there's been a lot going on, which I will update you guys in a vlog coming soon. Love you all. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to go live your dreams and hit the subscribe button. Bye! Thank you.